Hello, I am Sankarsh, the founder of Savart. Savart is today India's largest investment advisor, but how it went on to become the market leader and the entire journey is what makes it more interesting than this pole position that we have today. I'll take you through this journey in the span of next few minutes. The idea of Savart started when I was 14 years old and I came across a book called The Intelligent Investor. And that book introduced me to the world of investing. 2 years later, and after reading through hundreds of books and starting my own personal investment, I published my book called Financial Nirvana, which was just a collection of all my personal investing experiences. The book received far greater response than I had expected. A lot of people who read through the book came back and told me, why don't you help me manage my capital? This was a great idea for me because I was always short of capital and had dozens of ideas to invest in. This was a nice, easy way to make some money. But there was one more problem. It was that I was not even 18 and was not licensed to give investment advice. So that's when I started freelancing on sites where I was selling my investment strategies to these clients and made some quick bucks. That is how the idea of Savart was born. 2 years later, I met my mentor Ajay Batra, who also became my first investor. He told me, before you even start Savart or any asset management firm, why don't you go on the ground and talk to people? That was an eye-opener. I conducted a survey of 2,000 to 3,000 people across the country, ranging from daily wage laborers to billionaires, and tried to understand what their behavior with money was. And I got insights that completely changed my perspective towards what I envisioned Savart to be. I understood that Savart needs to reflect the ideals and the needs of India's masses. Their problem was not just having a great technology or an app or a great user experience to invest into stock market. Most of them did not even know what is stock market. So it had to start with something really basic. And that's what we began working on. I was soon joined by Sridhar and Aditya, who along with Ajay became my mentors as well. They helped me build the investment philosophy, the research framework, and help set up the entire infrastructure that Savart was going to thrive on in the future. And a year later is when we received our license from SEBI for registered investment advisor. It took us literally 13 months to get there because to begin with, my age was a problem and it was not easy to fathom even for the regulator to understand whether I was really the director who was running the company. But that was an interesting and a very great learning experience that we had. And within a span of the next 5 to 6 months, we got a really large amount of attention from news and media agencies across the country. And it propelled us to 100 crores in assets under advice in no time. And these initial wins and successes gave us a lot more confidence. In September 2019, Savart launched its first version of the web and mobile application. Along with that, it also marked the beginning of the Apart AI system, and this was a game changer. We had a belief that AI and automation would transform research and fundamental analysis in the long term. The reason why we believed it, because we thought it's a low cost and affordable and a scalable solution to take investing to the masses and to also eliminate human bias and emotions, increase the research coverage and create a global asset management company. And it has benefited us since then. The next important step for Savart was to expand internationally, not just in terms of physical locations, but also covering new markets for helping Indian investors invest globally. So we added American and Canadian markets to our research coverage. We also worked with multiple international partners to ensure that the investment experience really became seamless for all of our clients. It was only a matter of time before Apart went through a really testing phase. On 2nd January 2020, the system gave us a call to move 65 to 75% of the entire client's assets into liquid funds. We were really intrigued. Why was our AI telling us to move such a huge quantum of funds into liquid fund? It was until 2 or 3 months later we never understood that the reason for this was an impending crash due to COVID. And during this maneuver where we moved our money from active securities and investments that we had made to liquid funds and then back into the active stock market or reinvestment within the next 2-3 months saved us between 600 to 800 crores of client money. And this became the turning point for the performance of Savart's portfolios as well. In 2021, we were joined by Bennett, our first institutional investor, who also went on to reinvest in our company a year later. This showed their confidence in the growth potential of our company and their belief in our vision to be the world's largest asset management company. An year later, in the early days of 2022, we launched the P3 version, the third version of the Savart web and mobile application. This was exponentially better than the first version that we had launched and was built on the feedback given by our clients and investors across the globe. This reflected the new age investment experience that was demanded by the young investors of India. The next important step was to move to a nice, swanky looking office, and that came in the form of our high-tech city office, which became our new headquarters in June 2022. Over the next few months, we made a significant change in our policy and pricing plans. We moved from a single subscription of a 1-year plan to a 3-year plan model, which also reflected our long-term belief and aligning with the interest of the investors. This soon became a success, with 50% of entire Savart investing community moving to the 3-year plan. Towards the end of 2022, we raised our pre-series A round from 9 unicorns, venture catalysts, reinvestment from Bnext, and a few other angels. We were joined by some of the most reputed investors in India. This was an immense validation of the Savart business model. In early 2023, we started opening Savart franchisees across India. What started with a single franchisee has now grown to 13 franchisees across 4 different states in India, and we have a plan to open at least 100 franchisees over the next 2 to 3 years. These franchisees and these physical locations help us have a better interface with our clients, help them build the much needed trust during those initial conversations. Over the next few weeks, Savart also launched the Nirvana program. This was a very initial dream of educating the masses about investing, personal finance, and one of the foundations of why Savart was built. Though it took a long time to actually get started with this idea, we were finally relieved we actually got it done. So Nirvana is all about helping people understand what investing is from the basics to an advanced level. So even those who do not want to actually invest with Savart, Nirvana program wants to empower them to make their own investment decisions, but in a much more smarter and wiser fashion, based on fundamental analysis and thorough research rather than on tips and grapevine conversations. In addition to the Nirvana program, Savart also started working on its personal finance services. Now, personal finance is not lending or anything that comes to your mind immediately when I say finance. It is all about understanding wherever money is involved in your life, from assets, liabilities, debt, expenditure, insurance, tax, inheritance. Wherever there's money involved in your life, we want to help you optimize that. Now, this was also a service that was started after clients' feedback. So a lot of clients used to come back and ask us, what is the amount that we need to invest in the stock market? Now, this seems like a simple question, but we would not be able to answer that until we understand their entire financial world and behavior. So this is what the personal finance services get to, which is focused not just on investing, but everything about money. Now, while all of this sounds like a lot of progress, we believe we are just getting started. From a small dream to being the world's largest asset management company, this is going to be a wonderful journey, and we invite all of you to join us in making this happen.